Thank you, Madam Speaker. And tonight I will make an announcement, a very joyful announcement at the end of my speech. But I need to give a little bit of a context as to how we get to this joyful announcement. Now, Madam Speaker, I'm very conscious and I have reflected that we're all here at times and we need survival skills. All of us need survival skills to deal with the cut and thrust of Parliament. And it happens, you know, we all go at each other and all that stuff, but, you know, we're generally here for good purpose, but occasionally we get to each other, and you do need survival skills. And I do recall through you, Madam Speaker, the member for Daly, myself, having a little conversation saying you need thick skins here, you need thick skins. And that's good, that's good. Well, I can tell you, Madam Speaker, myself and my wife have developed...
And sorry to interrupt, I'll just note the clock. It didn't actually start at 10 minutes, so we'll give him another 10.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. No.
It's very generous.
Yeah. Thank you very much. They're great. And I really don't want this videoed too much. You understand why. But, Madam Speaker, my wife and myself, we've probably gone through the biggest test, along with other people in this chamber, of really how do you develop survival skills that'll take you through. And this is probably the hardest test that anyone can do. And I got through it, not with flying colours, and I've probably got a lot of battle scars, but I got through this survival test. And what is that survival test? Let me tell you, simply surviving a 2-year phase of a growing teenage daughter. I guarantee you, if you can do that, you can survive anything. Now, as you know, I've got a lovely son, Fergus, and my darling daughter, Nadia. And I've spoken much about Fergus and how he's gone on to become a fantastic paramedic. But he was like every other boy, you know. He'd grow up, and then when he got there, boys are just linear in the way they sort of develop. They become a pain in the arse, may I say at times, but they become lazy, they become messy, and they go off with their mates and all that stuff. And some of them go off the rails a bit and then they come back on. But it's quite linear in where they go. And through you, Madam Speaker, I reflect on the member for Blaine. I know he's got 3 young boys, and you're going to have challenges, member for Blaine, your family, but you're going to be able to take those through, including the teenage years. But a daughter is totally different. It is not linear. It is Miss Chaos. That's what you get. And I don't know, she's wonderful. And let me just explain. Up until 11, I was probably the best thing since sliced bread. The best thing since sliced bread. And then overnight, I am the biggest stag in the world. It just flips like that. And I don't know what happens, and I'm sure it's got stuff to do with puberty and hormones and all that, Madam Speaker. But for some reason, and I don't know whether it happens with all the girls, it certainly happened with mine, they almost go into Greek mythology, as we hear the member dries up there. And she seems to become an incarnate out of Hades, spawned by, I don't know, Medusa, combined with Freddy Krueger. That's what you end up with. And so for the member for Drysdale, who I know has 2 lovely young children, and he's been in the services, he's done a lot of testing himself, all I can say is be afraid. Be very, very afraid.
What's your point of order, member for Drysdale?
My daughters will be the most beautiful daughters forever.
I'm sure they are.
And always be the shining light.
Thank you.
And that will never change.
I hate to say this, but that's not a point of order.
No. And that's
continue,
okay, and
member
I
for
fully understand this, but let me continue. So how did I describe this phase, this 2-year phase? And I had to think of what were the characteristics of them. I think it was the slamming the door phase. I don't know whether you've ever had that, but you couldn't do anything right and walk out and slam the door, bang. So how do you cope with this? Well, my wife and myself learned how to cope with it. I'll tell you what, when the door slammed, you go, right, now's a good time to get a gin and tonic and jump in the pool and let them think they've upset you. Or they'd send you to Coventry. I'm not talking to mum and dad. That was a great time to go off, pretending we were sulking, but actually go out on a date night. We finally got it, you know. So you've got to do this. But having said that, may I say, they do go through this phase. She went through the phase early on where didn't want anything to do with yucky boy germs. Absolutely didn't want. She was with her girlfriends. I'd drop her off at school, but then it used to be, oh, love you, Nadia, enjoy your day at school. Suddenly it became, could you drop me 100 metres back and I'll walk up there, Dad, and don't you come anywhere near my friends. This was what it was. But they get past that. And for some reason, this sort of devil incarnate suddenly gets transformed again, metamorphosed. And suddenly they become the most loving person ever. And they come down and they want to do everything, look after you, fantastic. Probably after money at the same time, I say, but anyway, they're really fantastic. And my lovely daughter got over aversion from boy germs, and she delivered us a wonderful grandchild, may I say, an absolute wonderful grandchild who is the darling of our heart, Arlo. And what I wanted to celebrate today is Arlo is 7. Oh. Arlo is 7 today. Oops. Thank you. Yes, I'm going to have words to that phone. I can see that, Madam Speaker. But Arlo is 7, and through you, Madam Speaker, I wish, and on behalf of my whole family, we wish Arlo the happiest birthday. But my darling daughter Nadia, who I absolutely do love, she's put out a post about her son becoming 7. And she's got a lovely series of photos. And I'll just read what she just puts. It's just a simple paragraph, but it describes the love that people have. 7 years of giggles, cuddles and lessons in joy. 7 years of you, my heart could burst. My sweet boy with the biggest heart and gentlest soul. You are my greatest inspiration and my purest joy. Happy birthday, Arlie Bear. I love you. So, Nadia, I also love you. Thank you very much. Yeah.